Yeah, I'm pleased for him. I think. I mean, I said at the beginning we've chewed and froed a little bit about Arteta. I think Simon and I were on the same page initially, thinking that we liked the cut of his jib. Really, he had lots going for him, and then he seemed to struggle a little bit to find his way, and then the team kept changing, the formation kept changing, and at the start of this season, I did say that when he gets everybody fit, I think they'll be okay. The spine of the side's quite good. I like Ben White. I've always been a big fan of him. First time I saw him live, I was really impressed. Him and Gabriel is a good partnership, really solid. The fullback's been a good acquisition. Partey was missing, actually. Maitland-Niles played at the weekend, but Partey's been really good, and part of the reason they've been better defensively, of course, the goalkeeper we talked about last week. But regular players playing with each other, regular system, same personnel more often than not, has created stability, comfortable in their roles. They know what they're doing now instead of this constant change that we saw. So I'm pleased to see Arsenal getting back to somewhere
where they should
near.
be.
Yeah, because he's a nice guy. I mean, I played against him many
nice
times.
Guy. I know, but we say that about Ollie. Nice guy.
No, I know. But when you play against someone and you get to know him a little bit and talk to someone, he's a football man, loves his football, and was a very type. So I like to see nice people do well. And believe it or not.
Well, that was nice, wasn't it?
So
he's still with us.
So I'm pleased for him, but I still don't think in the big games when they come up against the real big boys, they're going to be pushing.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Simon, not that long ago,
find out
you
next,
said
aren't we? 'Cause they're playing Liverpool next
Arteta,
time.
all theory, no practice.
Yes, I was swinging the bottle around from believing, like Danny said, that he.
Do you often swing?
He looked swing the bottle.
Spin.
I know. I leave spin. Thank you, Danny. I
when
thought
Danny Murphy's helping you with words.
I know. I thought from the outset that he had all the ingredients of someone that was going to take Arsenal in the right direction. Then I began to worry and feel that he is somebody that's a lot more theory than he is more reality. Look, Arsenal have got good players. They spent £150 million in this window just gone. They should be operating at the higher end of the division. If the job is to get Arsenal back to where they were once were when he took over, which is around about where he's got them back to now, then okay. I thought the job, again, was to build them back to where they once were. And if once were is overtaking Tuchel, overtaking Klopp and overtaking Guardiola, then again, without the same severity as I've got towards Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he isn't the answer for Arsenal. But then again, the Arsenal ownership model might not be the answer. And whilst we're seeing a different set of responses from the Arsenal ownership, you're seeing Josh Kroenke being more visible and silent. Stan has suddenly remained silent, but his son's doing the speaking for him much more forcefully. I still feel that the jury is very much out as to whether short-term gains are going to reflect long-term benefits.
Well, I mean, interestingly, Arteta in his first 100 games has got a better record than Wenger had.
Really? Well, it's a different. He inherited a different club, but I think he's got a bit of time on his side now. I think they believe in him, the hierarchy, for now. They did at the beginning of the season. I think winning the FA Cup helped him, of course.
Yeah.
He's already a trophy ahead of Ole, isn't he?
Yes, yeah.
I'm only kidding. But, the
So
Arsenal...
he's got a better record than Wenger had in his first 100 games.
First 100 games.
And Wenger took over in 96
He's got more
and
wins.
did a double in 98-99.
He's got more wins.
He's
got more wins.
Yeah.
And what is interesting is our friend who owns Spotify has gone quiet because Daniel Ek, who was being tipped to take over the football club, even yesterday, you'd expect him to react on Twitter to Arsenal getting 3 points and moving further up that. Not a word about Arsenal from Daniel Ek.
Daniel Ek was always a product of a certain time and media focus and an agenda that he had. And, he was dancing out with all the ex-players. Dennis Bergkamp was going to be his director of football, whoever else was going to be involved in this so-called purported bid, which the Kroenkes had turned around and said to from the get-go wasn't the way they were going to go. What is unarguable is that since the Kroenkes have taken over Arsenal, the decline has been significant from the squad of players that they inherited when they took over the majority controlling influence in this football club to where they are now. The two Arsenals aren't recognisable. So whilst they might be talking the right language now, and they might be suggesting that they have the understanding of what's required of that football club, and now they've only just begun. Well, I tell you what, they've only just begun. It's a long runway, isn't it? Because they've been there 15 years, 13 years, 14 years, in a situation where they've had the majority control over this football club. Look, I said 3 years ago on I think your show at the time, Arsenal are an arm's length subsidiary of the American businesses that Stan Kroenke owns, and if they're not careful, they'll drop out of Europe. They won't just be qualifying into Europe and getting into Champions League, they'll drop out of European football. And you can go back and look at that. It's 3 years ago, and here they are out of European football. Arteta has gotten himself together because prior to the international break, the games that came after the international break were the Norwiches of the world that they had to win. And they won those games, and now the dial has turned a little bit.
Tottenham game helped him.
Yeah, granted.
Yeah.
But the first game out the back,
Yeah.
the first one off the rank was the Norwich game, and they squeaked past that 1-0.
Fixtures have been kind.
Yeah.
And the fixtures have been a little bit kinder.
So the Arsenal fans are having Arteta, but are they having Kroenke? Because he was asked over the weekend, what about the Super League debacle? Was that the lowest point in the Kroenke ownership with the Arsenal fans?
Possibly. I wouldn't disagree with you. I'll say it that way. But as someone that always tries to find the positives in things, when you're at the bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's back up. And, I said this to our fan advisory board that we met with last night. I don't want a 48-hour period to define us. We were presented with an opportunity. We asked ourselves a question, which was, what was worse, a Super League or a Super League without Arsenal? And we answered that question that we should be included in that. Were we wrong? Obviously. We listened to our fans. We made a quick pivot, removed ourselves from the situation. We apologized, and now we move forward. And some of the dialogue that I've had with some of the supporter groups has been as clear as crystal. And I couldn't be more excited to be communicating with them on the level that I am, because I understand who they are, and now they're understanding who I am. And I think the more we understand each other, it's exciting, because the only thing that we want is for Arsenal Football Club to be great.
Okay, so everybody's understanding each other. Unlike their North London rivals Tottenham, though, Kroenke at least is confirming there, look, we're meeting the fans. I mean, Daniel Levy and Tottenham were saying, no, we're not for getting together with you.
You can't have an ownership model that is euphemistically titled Silent Stam, and for 5 minutes, because you've been dragged kicking and screaming by an incredibly vociferous group of fans to the table to communicate in a manner that possibly you should have done in the first place, you can't put them up as a role model. It wasn't so long ago that Tottenham were running a football club 2 or 3 years ago that was everyone's blueprint. Best players, best development policies, best recruitment methodologies, great manager, best budgeting, biggest profits, new stadium, brilliant training ground. And like everything, to some extent, they become a little bit cyclical. So with that in mind, comparing and contrasting, because it makes a nice little soundbite between Tottenham and Arsenal.
Yeah.
Look, the Tottenham fans are asking certain things of Daniel Levy. We saw that list. It was a ridiculous set of demands. Asking to have a debate with the ownership of the football club is one thing. A set of demands about how you will be engaged with and the questions you will answer.
Well, they wanted to know about the direction of the club.
Well,
it's not that ridiculous, is it?
I can't remember the exact specifics of it, but we went through it. You read it out. There was about 20 points, and we both went, oh, hold on a second, that's getting a bit ahead of yourself. Right? Because at that time, every set of fans were coming out and pushing back against the ESL.
Yeah.
And the Tottenham fans bawled out something as long as the Magna Carta as to what they thought they were entitled to have
I would
from
say
Daniel
what
Levy.
Kroenke forgets, Simon, is that one of the most vociferous and heated protests about the Super League was outside the Emirates.
Yeah.
And he should remember that.
He did. He doesn't remember it. He talks about it as the lowest point, doesn't he?
We've learned from it, et cetera,
and they'll do it again.
et
And they'll be involved in the ESL again.
Which was just about what I was just
Of
about to
course they
say.
will, because there's nothing wrong with the ESL except it lacks meritocracy. Why is there a God-given right for UEFA to have a tournament? And
there's nothing wrong with it, other than it lacks
meritocracy.
It points in the direction of them and us.
No, it lacks meritocracy.
Well, that's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they've repackaged it now, haven't they? So the Juventuses, the Barcelonas, and the Real Madrids of the world that refuse to climb down.
They all want the big to get bigger and the small to get smaller.
They want to manage the problem, which is inevitable, which is the train light coming down the platform is a train, not at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel.
So you think Kroenke and Arsenal would jump on that train again?
Of course they would, as long as it doesn't reflect the same sentiments that was there before, because the fans' objection, because the media whipped it up and stoked it up. Skies of the world got panicky thinking we're going to lose all our broadcasting rights because this league is going to be...
Media's fault, Danny.
No, but it is because the only issue the fans could have had is the fact that it was not based upon merit.
Fans always have more issues when a team's not winning.
Yeah, but we're talking about the ESL.
I know we are.
Yeah.
I know it. But even that coincided. The bigger the.
But they're all in that. Besides Arsenal, so all the other clubs were in that tournament and available to be in that tournament. The problem is the way it was packaged and presented was this is for us and for nobody else.
Yeah, but you were in this very shoot with me that Monday morning.
Yeah, lack of competition.
Saying that this Super League cannot happen because they think they've got it, they've almost got it, but they don't have it
but
yet.
It was obvious why they hadn't got it.
Was that the media whipping it up?
No, because
was that you?
But no,
whipping it up?
No, Well, how am I whipping it up? I'm suppressing it. I'm pulling it down, saying they haven't got it. And they can't do it in this format. Nobody can do it in this format. The reasons why they can't do it in this format is because it didn't have relegation and promotion.
Correct.
The moment you put relegation and promotion back in it, why is it different to any other tournament?
So it's coming
not.
back, is it, the Super League?
Well, of course it is, and Arsenal will be involved in it if they're lucky enough to be invited.
Yeah.
And so will Tottenham, and so will other football clubs in this country, because who's going to sit there and watch the elite clubs in Europe sail off into the sunset with a series of opportunities that will... And when I say the media whipped it up, because the conventional media knew that if these broadcast deals were done somewhere else, all of a sudden, the skies of the world were going to sit there losing a huge amount of opportunity because the ESL was going to broadcast its own games.
Okay.
So, of course, it was whipped up by the media.
So
Everybody
should Danny
knows
and I
it
get
was.
ready then? What's the French for déjà vu? It's coming back.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.